There are 5 different perfectionism personalities that I've been able to identify in my work as a life coach, as I work with clients, and as I go on my own journey to recover from the perfectionist mindset. And the question that's been on my mind lately is what happens when different perfectionism personalities get together and interact in the context of a relationship? And so that's what I want to talk about today. Ready? Let's go. Good day, good people. Welcome back to episode 74 of the Life Edit Project podcast. I am your favorite life coach and podcast host, Coach Elizabeth, and I'm super glad that you're back with me today. Just a reminder, we are in the postseason, which means I am giving you the most value by doing the absolute least with these episodes. So this is going to be another quickie, and I want to spend this time, just a few minutes, talking about perfectionism personalities and what happens when perfectionism personalities interact in the context of a relationship. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about a romantic relationship or a professional relationship or perhaps even a familial relationship, right? All the relationships. So there's really 2 things that can happen. And there's kind of 2 different possibilities of couples, of relationship duos that can happen. So one is you can be in relationship with someone that has the same perfectionism personality as you. And just as a reminder, the 5 perfectionism personalities that I've identified are the performer, the pleaser, the puppeteer, the planner, and the projector. And those are in no particular order. And if you want to learn more about those different personalities, go back to whatever episode it was where I introduced the concept of perfectionism personalities. I will have it linked up in the show notes. Because I ain't got time to do all that today. I just want to talk about what happens, right? So you can be in relationship with someone who has the same perfectionism personality as you. So a performer and a performer might link up, a planner and a planner might link up, etc., right? The other possibility is that you can be in relationship with someone who has a contrasting perfectionism personality to you. So if you identify as a puppeteer perfectionist, you might be linked up with a planner perfectionist. Or if you are a projector perfectionist, you might be linked up with someone who is a performer perfectionist, right? That's a contrasting pair. So there are 2 things that can happen, and both of these scenarios can happen regardless of whether you're in a kind of identical pairing or a contrasting pairing. So the first thing that can happen is that the relationship normalizes perfectionism. It normalizes perfectionism for you as a lifestyle, as a way of thinking, as a way of showing up. So the example that comes to mind is if 2 performer perfectionists get together and they both have these standards of being super high performers, of not just being successful, but being record breaking, not just doing things and completing them, but completing them super fast, right? And completing them, making everything they do better than ever, right? When you are in relationship with someone who has that same tendency, then the perfectionism doesn't seem abnormal. And it becomes kind of an echo chamber that just drives you deeper into that pattern of perfectionism. So that's one thing that can happen. Another scenario that can happen is that your 2 perfectionism personalities actually aggravate your perfectionism. And by aggravate, I mean they make it worse. So it's not so much that it normalizes the perfection and it makes it look like the obvious thing. Perhaps it becomes obvious that the perfectionism tendencies are not in your best interest, they're not serving you, but the way your perfectionism personality interacts with the other person's perfectionism personality lends itself so that you feed off of each other. And so an example that comes to mind here is, let's say, a pleaser and a puppeteer perfectionist link up together. So the puppeteer might have the desire to be super controlling and to want to make lots of rules, while the pleaser perfectionist might have the compulsion to just be super agreeable and say yes to everything that the puppeteer lays out, right? So in those ways, the interaction of those two personalities actually lends itself to both of you going deeper into that perfectionism, even if it's not creating the type of relationship or the type of dynamic that you want to have with each other. And so what I just want to toss out there is that even if you have a perfectionist mindset, even if one of the 5 perfectionism personalities just seems to really resonate with you, and you can spot a perfectionism personality of someone that you're in relationship with, it doesn't have to mean that your relationship will be dysfunctional. So what I literally believe is that having the awareness of your own perfectionism personality and being able to recognize and identify the perfectionism personality of the people around you can help inform the way you show up and can actually give you essentially a roadmap for overcoming the barriers that perfectionism creates in relating to other people, so that you can actually have stronger, more fulfilling, more productive relationships that work better for everyone involved. So if you are finding that perfectionism has been a bit of a troublemaker in any of your relationships, you don't have to settle for that. You can find strategies. I can teach you tools and techniques to overcome perfectionism wherever it's showing up in any kind of relationship, so that you can relate more closely, more deeply, and just all around better to the people around you, to the people that you care about, to the people that you're stuck with even, right? So if that sounds like you, and if that sounds like work that you want to do, tap the link that is in the show notes to get on my calendar and book a call with me to learn more about my one-on-one coaching services and sign up to work with me. I would very much love to teach you everything I know about perfectionism personalities and how they no longer have to hold you back. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'll be back in your ears next week. Peace.